Assalamualaikum. Hello, my name is Hismatul Hafidzah and I'm from EAN Palangkaraya on 5th semester. Today, I would like to tell you the presentation of my work. It is about why punishing children for bullying others isn't a solution. First, we should know what bullying is. So, in my opinion, bullying is an expression of anger, unhappy, intimidation, violence by using a superior strength, or influence towards someone who is weaker. Why bullying is so easy to happen? You may be you may get picked on because you are different in some perceived way. It could grades, appearance, friends, economic status, orientation, or anything that might make you stand out from others. They may continue because they get a reaction out of you. And next, I'm going to tell you about the effect of bullying for nowadays. Bullying at school has attracted an enormous amount of attention, spurring academic studies and popular books, regulation and training sessions for educators. By now, its status as a serious problem is widely acknowledged as it should be. We can never go back to the days when bullying was regarded as a boy will be boy's rite of passage, something that victims were left to deal with and suffer from alone. But as with other ills, both within and beyond our school, some responses are much less constructive than others. The least thoughtful or useful strategy is to announce a zero tolerance stance on bullying. Either this praise amounts to empty rhetoric, rather like responding to repeat instances of gun violence in our country by sending each cluster of victims our truth and prayers, or else it reverts to a policy of ours punishment for bullies. The latter approach is worth our attention precisely because it comes so easily to us, complementing a punitive sensibility already well established in our schools. Students who break the rules or otherwise displease us are subjected to suspension, expulsion, detention, and forced isolation, time out, loss of opportunity to participate in enjoyable activities, and so on. So in this case, bullying at school is really happen in a lot of country, not just in Indonesia, but in other country, bullying it's happened too. So because of that, there's so many source that I use for making this. So I searching, so I made this. So bullying at school has attracted an enormous amount of attention, spurring academic studies and popular books, regulation, and training station for educators. So as educators, we should know that bullying is really worse. And next, making children suffer for what they've done is often defended on practical grounds, but I've been unable to find any evidence to support the claim that punishment makes school safer or leads the children who have been punished to become more ethical or responsible. Indeed, punitive responses, even if they are euphemistically called consequences, are often not merely ineffective but actively counterproductive to cite only one in a long line of empirical investigation. An 8-year longitudinal study published in 2005 found that punitive discipline was subsequently associated with more antisocial behavior, less prosocial behavior, and increased levels of anxiety. Interestingly, when many proponents of traditional discipline are presented with such evidence, they simply pivot to a very different defense, one that can't be dislodged with evidence. They insist that if someone does something bad must be done to that person, he or she must be held accountable. A consequence must be imposed for moral reasons, even if there are no practical benefits. And next, but the effect of punishment do matter, and where bullying is concerned, they suggest a painful irony. Punishing kids who bully not only fails to address the source of the problem, but actually make things worse. Yes, the effect is punishment. Giving a punishment to students that bullies the others is make the things is more worse, and we gotta we gotta we don't have to punish them. We just need to tell them this is worse. This is not good. This is not right. So as an educator, we should understand why the students is bullying the others. Then we should try to searching why they bullies the other. Don't give a punishment because it's giving a bad impact for the students that bullies the other. Even when it doesn't include physical force promote aggression, but studies conducted in the United States and in Sweden revealed another layer to that reality. Bullies in particular are more likely to have been raised by authoritarian parents who rely on punishment. It's same like in Indonesia too, because it's not just happened on United States or uh, in Sweden, but in Indonesia, in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Taiwan, and etc. It's like it's happened. Bullying it's happened around the world, but it's not giving a big solution when we punish the students or who's bullies the other students. It's not a giving a solution, but it makes things more worse. It's easy to assume that punitive discipline is an inevitable part of school life. That leaves us quibbling only about the details of implementation. For example, how severe the penalty should be for a given offense. Once we take a step back and consider whether punishment itself really makes sense, the status quo becomes very troubling indeed. Consider a punishment is response by someone with more power. Say we gotta say it's like having more power is an adult to prohibit action on the part of someone with less power, in this case a child. Specifically, it consists of deliberately making the child suffer in some way. The intent may be to discourage the child from repeating the action, but the more common results of punishment are that the child, uh, point one is, I got 3 points. Point one is becomes angry and frustrated. Point two is learns that you get your way in life by using your power over those who are weaker. And 3 becomes more focused on self-interest and less likely to consider how his action affect others. Next, punishment induce kids to ask, what do the people with the power want me to do? And what's the consequence to me if I don't do it? From this perspective, it quickly becomes clear that the problem with school policy isn't just that punishing bullies inevitably backfires. Rather, punishment in general is likely a hidden contributor to bullying, both because of what it models and because of its effects on the students who are punished. One barrier to acknowledging this, apart from our reluctance to admit the intrinsic unpleasantness of what we're going to the harm it may be causing, is the way unquestioned assumptions are built to our use of language. For example, when we talk about kids, the word respect typically refers to something they owe us, not something they are owed by us. Likewise, bullying is a word we're accustomed to using only to describe something done by students. Next, another barrier is the difficulty of shifting our levels of analysis. Even in recalling full-time bosses or colleagues, we concede that adults too may be bullies, and even if we are open to the possibility that they might victimize children too, it's much more disconcerting to consider that bullying isn't just done by individuals. Widely accepted practices and policies may amount to institutionalized bullying. It means that bullying it's not just happening student, but the not just student can be someone bullies someone. I mean, not just a student can bully the others, but it may be an adult too. So it's not just a student, maybe. Next, the conclusion. So to conclude, bullying is not good for the children itself. Giving punishment after we know that he or she do that bullying, it makes children slow down and wor make a worse decision. So as an educator, we should calm down and talking or asking the children who bullies the others. It's maybe when we talking with the students who's bullying the others, it's getting better because we know talking is makes something better. So thank you for watching this video. I think that's all for my presentation of my work. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Stay safe, stay healthy, and goodbye.